All right, everyone, we're jumping straight in today. First of all, I want to shout out the two guys that I was playing with, a guy called Joey Skaggs and a guy called Kies. You might have seen them in other streams. They've both got their own streams, which I'm going to link in the description below. They're both Challenger players. Kies is a Challenger support player. Joey is a Challenger AD carry player. And they were both really, really, really good players. So I'm going to shout out their streams. You can check them out in the description below. I watched both of them pretty regularly, so if you hang out in their streams, you might see me there. We can obviously say hello to each other. But I'm obviously going to be focusing primarily on my perspective this game. Before we get through to the game, I want to say thank you to G2A for sponsoring the channel. Reference link in the description below. And also, there's a giveaway going on right now. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe for your chance to win it by the end of May. Okay, so you notice what I'm doing here versus this Renekton. He came to lane really late. So what I want you to pay attention to, I'm going to be using my little thing again, is watch this little symbol here. Watch the timer on it, and watch me get it to 4 stacks. And then whenever it's at 4 stacks, I'm going to be looking for a basic attack or to use my first ability on Renekton. Okay? Not a great start for us in the mid lane, clearly. The Orianna just picked up two kills. But as you can see, I'm just trying to, A, stay out of turret range right now. Although I did take a turret shot here. I'm trying to just stay out of turret range right now. Wow, I'm really bad. But I'm also just trying to make sure I'm staying in combat and doing a Grasp of the Undying first ability attack with Garen. So this right here is your Grasp of the Undying proc. I am just trying to make sure I have that up at all times because I can combo it with my first ability, like this. And you can do a significant amount of burst damage. So the reason the Renekton lost this lane is because he helped his jungler too much. And that meant he missed 2 minions. It's like insane to miss 2 minions. You should never miss that many minions. Here's a little rule of thumb. You can help your jungler for 3 basic attacks most of the time before you can end up, before you potentially end up losing minions. So just remember that. Now, Galio was getting pretty heavily slapped here, and the bot lane rotated up. Now, I just essentially walked straight into this fight. I'm pretty strong with my Barmy Cinder right now. And as you can see, like, even with the Renekton here, he's level 3, I'm level 5. I should have immediately used my ultimate, but I just didn't think that the Camille was low enough for me to use the ultimate there. And actually, Camille ends up getting 2 kills. But that big rotate from the bot lane, like, Jinx is here. So clearly, my bot lane, which is Joey and Kies, are just going to take as many plates and try and take this tower. Because for some unknown reason, the Jinx is top. And Sona's still here. Now, they've got level 5. This Sona's level 4, and Sona is really easy to tower dive. So they make the correct decision to just say, cool, tower dive. Nothing the Sona can do about it in that situation, and she ends up going down. However, because Jinx is Jinx, she ends up getting the kill across the map. Anyway, we'll go back to me. Itemization, I'm going for a Sunfire Cape first, because I want to be a tank. And again, just look what I'm doing here against this Renekton. He pops his ultimate, and then uses his ignite on me. Unfortunately, has the honey fruit up here, so pretty close to getting him killed. If I'd just waited a couple seconds longer, I might have been able to execute him with my ultimate, but I wasn't able to do so. But look at Garen. Like, this is one of the reasons that Garen is so ridiculously strong. I'm just out of combat right now, regenerating loads of HP. I'm a little bit behind Renekton in experience, but I still think that I'm in a strong position versus him in terms of dueling potential. And again, just looking to build up these stacks. I spin in the middle of the minion wave to build up these Grasp of the Undying stacks. And whenever I have a Grasp of the Undying stack, whenever this green hand shows on your UI, that means you can walk up to the enemy and basic attack them. And with Garen, using this ability here, it's like free money, free real estate. This right here is a free Grasp of the Undying proc every single time in lane. In terms of maxing, you always want to max your judgment, or whatever it's called, your spin. You want to max your spin first. Does the most damage, and is one of the most useful teamfight tools. So, you want to do that pretty much all the time. Decide to execute the Camille. The reason I'm, willing to do that straight away is because clearly with the Sona and the Camille dead, with Orianna not really that interested in coming to the dragon, and I'm just going to zone her away as well. It's pretty much a free dragon for us, so we don't have to worry too much. And I do want to rotate top, though. A, because I'm losing so much experience compared to the Renekton. Like, if I go and look at the Renekton, he's like level 7 already, despite me kind of crushing him in lane. He's got 3,200 gold. I've got 4,000 gold, so I'm really, really far ahead of him. It's a nice taunt by the Galio here. I have no idea what I stood still for. I randomly stood still. I must have got a Honestly, must have got a joystick bug. You sometimes get it on the iPad. But yeah, I randomly just stood still. Either way, I don't think I was going to end up killing the Renekton. So we take our first objective, which is nice. Clearly, we have the Rift Herald spawning relatively soon, so that'll be something to keep an eye on. I'm still doing really well versus this Renekton in lane. Like, I'm not really too worried about this Renekton getting ahead of me. I've got Sunfire Cape already. Now, I can see Camille hovering at the Krugs, so clearly I know that Camille is in the area to potentially gank me. I feel like I'm tanky enough to not worry massively about that, but I am just kind of making sure I'm getting out of this area sooner rather than later. So I rotated down. Clearly you can see the Camille here. I was trying to catch out the Orianna. I thought that I was tanky enough to just walk in and maybe kind of gank this Orianna. But if you look, I'm actually still really far behind in levels. And I don't have any resistances as of yet. And unfortunately, the Galio just ends up dying. But I thought the Galio was going for the engage there. And I end up dying. It was a mistake from me, in all honesty. Like, a bit of a mistake from me. I didn't really need to do that. And you can see, like, the Camille is now 5,000 gold. She's almost at Triforce. She's got a ridiculous amount of experience as well. So I kind of, by making that gank happen, I basically ran it down a little bit. In the meantime, though, my bot lane clearly doing very well. You can see Joey, he's 302, about to be 402. Oh no, not quite. Flashes away. But he's in a really, really good spot. So my bot lane's in a good spot. I'm actually not in a bad spot. I'm 3-2 right now. I'm working towards a Dead Man's Plate. The reason I'm going Dead Man's Plate is because there isn't that much AP damage to worry about. There's only the Sona and the Orianna. Luckily, we can just end up getting the kill on this Renekton relatively easily. And you can see Kies and Joey have now made a rotation to top. There's nothing for them to really get bot. So it's much better for us to go for this tower. Although you can see Kies Joey's making a rotation to mid to try and stop this mid lane tier 1. I want to watch what Joey does here because I remember him complaining that no one was with him. He just gets chain CC'd. And they pick up the first tower. It was definitely a risky rotate there from Joey. But we end up getting the tier 1 on the top lane. So we trade tower for tower. Not worth it for mid lane tier 1, really. Mid lane tier 1 is really, really important. But tower for tower is okay at this stage of the game. Somehow, though, our Graves is just perma running it down. He's 1-3 right now. Graves is, by the way, a terrible champion, and you should never play him for the most part. I don't think he's particularly good. In terms of build, this is either going to go towards Dead Man's Plate or it's going to go towards Force of Nature. I can't remember which of them I built. Dead Man's Plate would give me more carry potential, clearly. But Force of Nature obviously would give me some more protection versus the Orianna, who's getting pretty strong. Now, I want to go for this engage onto Renekton because it's the easy kill. He didn't have any of his... sorry, he did have Flash available. Why did Renekton not use Flash there? He could have very easily escaped. Right, looks like we've got a bit of action in the bot lane, so let's watch this here. Oh, Kies. That was a really, really nice... that was a really nice shield from Kies, and honestly, Joey's ultimate was absolutely insane. Quickly, you need to stun... Yeah, stun the Jinx. Focus the Jinx. Good. Double kill on a Brawl. Always a good look. Nice slow there. And they pick up the kill onto the Sona. That's all in really good time, by the way. Looks like... I think Camille actually gets away with this, from what I remember. Yeah, she does with the slow. That's ridiculous. How Camille gets away with that, I just have no idea. But this should be enough for us to go for the Ocean Dragon. Or it should have been enough for us to go for the Ocean Dragon. Looks like we're trying to focus down the mid lane tier 1, which is also a good objective to kind of go for. Oh, very close to me going down. And now I'm just running because the Camille's here. The Camille is like ridiculously tanky. There's nothing that I can do for my bot lane, so the best thing I can do is run away. Unfortunately, we gave up our Ocean Drake. Now, if we'd just taken those kills and gone immediately to Ocean Drake, that would have been a really easy second Drake for us. Not really sure why we decided to try and like 1v3 here, but the Camille is just in such a ridiculously strong spot that she's just essentially two-shotting everybody now. I mean, that Camille jungle is really popping off, honestly. Look at that. Oh my god, she basically 1v3'd. And in the meantime, we have this this tower getting smashed by the Rift Herald. Now, Kies walks up to defend the tower. Here's an interesting discussion. Kies walks up to take the Rift Herald down, who's pushing our tower. Joey goes for the 1v1 on the Orianna. And I remember Joey saying, why are you not helping me with the Orianna? However, I think both of those decisions were fine. Like, either defend the tower or go for the Orianna. Both of those decisions actually ended up being fine. But it was a good little outplay from Joey to actually get the 1v1 there, because I think that was a shutdown on the Orianna, which was a pretty decent amount of gold. Now, okay, so I've actually just gone... I am going Dead Man's Play, but I picked up the Bramble Vest, and as well as the Stoneplate enchant. So I picked up the Bramble Vest and the Stoneplate enchant. Mainly because Bramble Vest is very good against Camille and very good against Renekton. You can see that Camille kind of went for the big engage here. This is an okay fight for us. We take down the Renekton. Now, instead of the Camille, I'm just going to run at the Sona. I don't really care about the Camille, if I'm honest with you, because I'm probably not going to kill her. I'm much more likely to kill the Sona. Even, you know, if I stayed with the Camille, might have ended up dying. But we end up trading 1 for 1. Like, the Camille gets the kill onto the Galio, and I get the kill onto the Sona. I'm okay with that trade, by the way. I'm perfectly okay with that trade. Camille's still here. Interesting. Don't think I'm going to end up killing her. Her shield's too big. Her shield is just too big. You can see I'm trying, but she's two levels up on me, and I can't really take that trade. We somehow lost the turret. I didn't see what happened with the Jinx bot lane. Must have been the Orianna there as well, but they end up getting the kills on our bot lane, and you can see the gold is still very even. They are in a slight lead right now. 11 minutes into the game, they've got a slight lead, which is... It's not that bad. I mean, at the end of the day, here we go. I've got Dead Man's Play. I've got a Bramble Vest. I've got, like, loads of armor, loads of HP. I'm in a good spot. I just need a bit of magic resist for the Orianna, and then maybe a little bit of magic resist for the Sona, but we don't massively care about the Sona, if I'm honest with you. I'm mostly concerned about the Camille. I'm mostly concerned about the Jinx. Now, armor isn't exactly super effective versus Camille, because the second part of her precision protocol, which is her first ability, deals true damage if you wait long enough to activate it, and so therefore that's going to go straight through all of my resistances anyway. So the best defense against the Camille, who's really fed, is just actual pure HP, but you obviously want to have a bit of a mix. So I popped my gargoyles here just to give myself a little bit of extra time. Like, I thought maybe we would get away with this, but the Camille is just way too strong at this point in time. The Camille is just really, really, really strong. And the Galio decided to peace out and then randomly jumps in the fight too late. Graves does turn up. Now, Graves should be able to kill this this Camille. And that's actually a really nice kill if Graves can do it. Ultimate, nice. Takes it down. Graves is not exactly in a strong spot. He's 9,000 gold. He's been farming relatively well, but that shutdown was worth a butt ton of gold. So that's actually going to get Graves into a position where he might be able to come back into the game. You compare his gold to the Camille, who's like 12,000. You compare it to me, who's 9,000. Like, I'm actually behind the Graves in gold at this point in time, mainly because I've just been running around the map doing random stuff. Graves ends up dying here with the Sona. Not really going to be able to catch them, and the Orianna just speeding them up. So in the end, I just decided to clear the wave. Obviously, the next objective to think about is the ocean, whatever Drake it is. Now, we are still even in gold, like relatively. There's 3,000 gold separating us at 13 minutes. Now, if you ever look at a replay and you see 3,000 gold at like 13 minutes into the game, trust me, it means very little. 3,000 gold at this point means very little. And I want to just show you the item builds of everybody right now. We have a 3.5 item Kaiser, who is like joint kind of like gold advantage. He's very, very, very far ahead. But you can see that the majority of their carries have got a significant lead on the majority of our carries. So for the most part, they are doing better than we are. Now I'm going to just jump over to where this fight is taking place. There's already a big engage. It looks like the Galio has died. Joey went for a big flank here, obviously getting caught out and forced to flash across the wall. I decided to just randomly jump in and try and threaten the Jinx. But honestly, my team is already lost at this point, and I'm just like, well, there's not much I can do here. So I pop Gargoyle Stoneplate. I try to maybe get an Execute onto the Renekton, which is better than nothing. But the Jinx is very strong. And even without Last Whisper, he's able to shred through me with Blade of the Ruined King relatively easily. That was an absolute disaster for our team, honestly. Because as you can see now, they are deciding, like, where to go. They're pinging Baron, they're pinging Dragon. Now, Baron would be very risky for them. Dragon would be the ultimate safe option in this scenario. But they're going to go for the Baron. Now, I actually think this is relatively risky. I think this Baron is relatively risky. But they are quick enough to do it with the Camille that I don't think I'll have a problem. Now, what is my Galio doing? That looks like a Galio who's completely lost his mental. Just, like, completely lost his mental. Sorry, I just had a phone call. So, let's jump back into it. I kind of want to just give you some educational look at this game as well when it comes to item builds. That's a very standard Kai'Sa item build. I explained why I went for armor early on here. Oh, I'm going to talk about it after this engage. So I don't know what Camille was doing here, but she got massively caught out, which has allowed us this angle into the dragon. Really, really lovely engage by Kies. And again, an immediate disengage from the Sona. I don't bother chasing the Sona because I'm not going to catch her. What I'm doing now is zoning the Jinx away so that we can get the kill onto the Orianna. Now, this is where look, this is how good, this is how strong a fed Jinx is in ranked. She is basically 1v4ing us, even though we're on super low HP, and we have to respect it, because if she gets one kill, she is going to reset and blow everybody up. So we have to respect the Jinx chasing us down here. There's nothing that we can do. I'm trying to buy as much time as possible, as is Kies. There is literally nothing that we can do, though. We have to respect the Jinx. This is how strong Jinx is in a ranked setting, and we have to retreat from here all the way to our base. And because we had to do that, and they had the minion wave, we can't stop Jinx taking the inhibitor tower. And also you can see with the Renekton doing a really good job threatening this top lane inhibitor turret. So through all of that, Jinx single-handedly stopped us doing the dragon, and has then ended up taking a inhibitor turret. Does end up dying for it eventually. I get a big bit of shutdown gold here as well, but we lose 2 inhibitor towers overall. So Ignite comes through onto me. We stun the Renekton. I have to flash onto the fountain. That's actually a really important flash because it keeps me alive for contesting the dragon and potentially pushing out waves. If I died there, this game might genuinely have been lost or have been different. But now that I'm alive, you know, I can actually sort of remain on the map to be useful and stop them from pushing in these 2 side lanes here. Now, hopefully we've got a bit of downtime. Standard, good Kai'Sa build. If you ever want a Kai'Sa build, definitely follow this one. I explained why I went all of this armor. Kies also made the same decision with the Thornmail, but he's gone for the Zeeks and the Protectors, which is obviously pretty normal. Looks like Camille kind of inted again here, and the Sona doesn't have flash from the previous engage. So I don't know why Camille was again doing that. She's kind of throwing. This Graves build, it's a bit interesting. Not sure I agree with it. I think the best Graves build is probably just straight up critical strike. Galio build is very squishy, even with just the Rod of Ages, but we kind of need the damage, so I don't massively disagree with it. Very standard Sona build, very good Jinx build, although the Bloodthirster I'm not entirely sure about. Maybe would have preferred a GA. This is a very, very good Orianna build, although a very high impact to get through early magic resist with the Void Staff, very intelligent. Very standard Camille build, and this is probably the safest Renekton build, but just means you don't deal a huge amount of damage, and also you don't really you don't do very well in the 1v1. Like if you have a Blade of the Ruined King, you're doing much better in the 1v1. Anyway, a little bit of insight onto the builds there. Okay, so we're at this stage of the game. We have pressure coming in on this wave, pressure coming on this wave. So when you're at this stage of the game, clearly you have to be very worried about constant pressure coming through the side lanes. Their team is kind of running it down one by one right now. And this has given us enough time to go for the Baron. Like, we're in a good enough spot to go for the Baron here. Like, Sona flashes again. Unfortunately, we can't straight up go for the Baron because Renekton is pushing this wave and this wave is pushing. So you constantly need to be worried about these side waves. I didn't back because Galio looked like he had the edge here, right? But Renekton goes straight into Galio, and Galio's not exactly good against dealing, like, the very squishy Galio build, and he just instantly dies. So you can see Renekton just taking down the Nexus. I have to back immediately. If you have a look at the craziness that's going on the Baron, like, Sona's just in the Baron pit. I'm here trying to defend against this, the crazy onslaught of minions. There's a teleport coming in over to the Baron pit right now, as you can see. Graves is there, ready to go. We take the Baron, even with Sona. I'm chasing Renekton and get his GA popped in this area of the jungle. He still has flush available, stuns me and flashes over the wall, which means he's able to... But then he's, like, going for the backdoor attempt as he, like, jumps in, tries to go for the backdoor attempt. Can't get there, though. Probably would have been better off just running away. Does get killed by the Graves ultimate. I thought he was going to die to the Grasp of the Undying proc. He almost gets away from that situation. And if you have a look... Oh, no, I think I missed it. Oh, no! Oh, no, I missed it. I'm going to pause and go and fast forward to this point because I've done Kies dirty here. I'm going to have to pause and kind of get back into the game because look how ridiculous this save was. Okay, it's coming up, right? I'm going to focus on Kies, right? You need to watch this. I'm going to focus on Kies. This defense of the Nexus was absolutely insane. He didn't even bother backing. He walks back towards base, buffs that cannon minion to try and buy some time, literally walks up to this big super minion wave, blocks the shots, and it's on 14 HP. One more basic attack, and we would have lost the game. One more basic attack, and we would have lost the game. Like, look how much HP it was on. I mean, Renekton in all chat typed GG. He thought it was over. Can't believe we kind of scraped by. Like, if Kies hadn't done that, we would have lost the game. Like, straight up lost the game. You can see he's just sat there looking at the Nexus like, what the hell? All right, let's go back to watching the perspective of the ridiculously tanky Garen, which is kind of what this entire game was about. Okay, so we saved the Nexus on 14 HP, but we don't have an inhibitor tower, and the 2 inhibitor towers here are never coming back. We did get the Baron somehow. Looks like the Galio gets caught out by the Camille once more, but the thing about Camille is that she can just run away, and you can't really chase her. I'm like trying to chase her down here, but know that I'm not going to be able to, so decide the best option is to try and push the wave as much as possible. Obviously, the next big fight is the Elder Dragon, so the next big fight is clearly going to be the Elder Dragon, which we're going to have to keep our eyes on, because that is a big objective that we don't want to miss out on. If we get Elder Infernal, we can actually win 5v5s versus this team. If we don't get Elder Infernal, we probably lose the game. So this is an objective that we just need to take. So the setup is there for it. Now watch the fact that the Renekton is at the top side of the map does give us an incumbent advantage versus this team. And you can see, like, I'm not taking any chances. No chances versus this Camille. Slap the sword! Straight on her head. Straight on her head. That gives us a jungler advantage now versus the Camille. Now, they are doing a really good job of making it as difficult as possible for us to go for this Infernal Drake, because you can see the Renekton just pushing that side lane wave. Like, we need to defend against that. And they're actually going over to the Infernal Drake to do it themselves. Like, we don't want to let them get away with this. We don't want them to sort of get away with just going for this. So I actually just jump in, and I'm like really tanky at this stage in the game. So I'm just running at the Jinx. She can't really kill me. A little bit too difficult. I'm slowing her down, stunning her to allow Joey to get the kill. We have to back here, because if you look at the Galio, he's like straight up losing to the Renekton, who's still trying to push down our tower. No, he has to go back to base. The Rhyalize pickup is actually really big. Ends up dying to the Renekton, but does allow me to get the kill with my ultimate. And my team goes for the Infernal Drake. They've got 3 members left alive. It is 3 versus 3. This is risky. Teleport coming here. That teleport is almost certainly Camille looking for a backdoor. So I stick around. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to let Camille go for the backdoor. Can't let it happen. So I just ward over the wall, trying to get... whenever there's a backdoor threat, get vision here and get vision here, right? So if you just get vision in this area and get vision in this area, and you can see Camille jumps over. She's really, really tanky. Oh, sorry, really fed. Tries to go for the final inhibitor turret. Like, tries to take that inhibitor turret straight up down. I am just running after her to try and ward her out of our base. The next big objective is the Baron. This is like the 15th Baron of the game. There's been a bajillion Barons this game. And it's been ridiculous. And I'm just trying to clear this wave. Like, we need to just push these waves out. Whenever you've lost inhibitors, you just need to push the waves out as far as you can before these objectives become a genuine threat. Like, these waves just need to get shoved out wherever possible. But we also need to contest the Baron. Camille is hovering. Like, that's why we've warded here. And that's why we've got a little ward here. Camille is clearly looking for some kind of backdoor attempt. There isn't a focus on the Baron as of yet. Now, it looks like these guys try to catch out the Sona. I end up picking up the Renekton, who gets taken very low. You can see I actually then immediately change my focus over to the Graves. And watch this teleport. Oriana, what are you doing? Like, that was so in. But then look at Camille. Oh my god, look at Camille. She's literally just soloing the tower by herself. That last final inhibitor tower drops because Camille is literally doing it by herself, trying to threaten the backdoor. But she doesn't have the waves because we pushed those waves out earlier. And in the meantime, Joey gets a triple kill in the mid lane because we were so far ahead, and then they're pushing down the mid. Watch what I'm doing, right? Camille is the only one left alive. We have this wave pushing in, but no one's there to push it. I'm seeing Camille over here. I'm just chasing her. You can see she's trying to get away. I'm trying to buy as much time. I'm telling my team, go, go, go. Don't back, don't back, don't back. I'm chasing Camille. I'm making sure she can't back to defend the base. I'm just constantly running after her. I don't want this Camille to go and defend the base. And you can see that by the time that I've bought enough time for the Camille, that my team could just walk in and end the game. And I can't believe we won that game. I can't believe that we won that game. It was insane. Really, really insane. Massive, massive props to Joey and Kies. They played an excellent game. I think I had a really good game on the Garen as well, just in terms of macro decision making. That was nutty. Probably the most nutty game I've played. And this was like with challenger players as well. Insane. Really insane. Oh, and this is the builds at the end. I thought I'd show you. Feel free to pause the video here, have a look at some of the end game builds that everyone went for. There's a reason I went for Sterax in the late game, by the way. Sterax is actually really good for a tank because it increases your base AD and gives you a really nice shield that gets better with the with the resistances. So the shield becomes really insane with all the resistances that you pick up. And I wanted to do more damage. Like, I needed to somehow threaten Jinx. I needed to somehow deal damage to these guys. So that's why I went for the Sterax at the end here. And I went for the... I actually sold my stone plate and picked up teleport because I bloody needed it this game. Yeah, insane game, honestly. Really crazy.